during the video, you can just unmute yourselves. And let me start by sharing my screen. And we're going to look at some hands involving defense today. And let me just adjust that a bit. And these are a variety of hands involving a variety of things to do with defense. And if you're watching this video on YouTube afterwards, if you wish to sign up to join these lessons, you can do so by sending an email to that address there. And if you like the video and you have a YouTube account, I would encourage you to give me a thumbs up if you can, because that encourages YouTube to promote my videos. And if you really like it, there's this super thanks. You can click on the three dots here under the video and give a super thanks, which is a financial contribution. So that's by no means essential. It's just that some people have asked if they can do that. And if you want to, there's a default contribution of $2, I think. But you don't have to do that at all. I hope it's just nice to see everyone just joining the videos and joining the game. So these are a variety of hands that have been played. And when they were played, most of the defense did not really make the most of these hands. So I thought I'll have a look at these. So here's one where South has opened 1 no trump, North raised to 3 no trump. Here we're playing a weak no trump, 12 to 14. And your partner here leads the King of Hearts. And you look at dummy and I always look to think, was that a reasonable bid, which I think it was. But I can see that my partner's got off to quite a good lead in the sense that that King of Hearts should indicate it's a top of a sequence. And there's only one stopper in dummy, the ace. So those are my thoughts about this. So I play the 2 on the first one. My partner follows up with another heart, knocks out the ace. And now I'm assuming the hearts are going to run for my partner. So if declarer starts by cashing clubs, as they cash the clubs, I'm going to have to think about what to discard. And my thoughts are, well, I want to keep that King of Spades guarded. In other words, I can discard 2 spades, but not more than 2 spades. I want to also try to keep a stopper in diamonds if I can. And I also want to keep a heart so that if and when I do gain the lead, I've got a heart to lead back to my partner's good heart. So sometimes in a hand, it's not possible to do everything you want, but those are the things I want to do on this hand. Keep the spade stopper, the diamond stopper, and to keep a heart. So I'm just going to remember that as they run these clubs. I'm going to start maybe by discarding 2 spades. And if they play another club, I'll discard a diamond. Okay, so I haven't really come under any pressure there. And now if they play a diamond, of course, I've got a stopper now. They can take they can take that and they may well switch to a spade. And if I bring up all 4 hands at this point, you can see that declarer can actually make 9 tricks now because they've still got the King of Diamonds and the Ace of Spades to come. But if they are greedy and they make the mistake of trying a finesse, running the Queen of Spades, then I can get in with my king. And because I've kept my hearts, I can switch back to hearts and allow my partner to take his remaining heart tricks. So declarer could have made that, but could go down if he tries the spade finesse. That's trying for over tricks, perhaps. So that was a relatively simple one, just involving discarding the right things, thinking about what you need to keep as declarer runs their long suit. Let's try another one here. And this is the one that I sent out by email at the weekend. Your partner here again against 3 no trump leads the Queen of Spades. Well, that should be a top of a sequence headed by Queen Jack 10 or something like that. And again, you can see your partner's got off to a good lead because the ace is in dummy and you've got the king this time. So let's suppose you give an encouraging signal, high to encourage, on the queen of spades, and your partner plays another spade, the 2, and declarer plays the ace. And this is actually the first key decision you have to make on this hand, and that is that you must throw the king of spades here. If I click on the GIB button, that shows that if I throw the king of spades, I could defeat this contract by 1 trick. But if I just play the 3 automatically, now I may block the spade suit and declarer could make the contract. So the first key thing to get right on this one is to throw that king of spades. You know your partner's got a sequence headed by the queen, so it's definitely right for you to get rid of the king. Okay, and now declarer starts playing clubs. And in fact, they're going to play 4 rounds of clubs. And on the next 3 rounds of clubs, you're going to have to find 3 discards. And that's the subject of the next poll. What 3 discards are you going to make as declarer runs the club tricks? So you might, for example, decide to discard a spade and 2 hearts, or a spade and 2 diamonds, or a spade, a heart, and a diamond. But this is a good time for you to think about what are you going to discard, and have a think about it. And here comes the poll, and I'd like you to choose what 3 discards are you going to make as declarer runs the clubs. Let's have a look at what you put. And the most popular response is 3 hearts, followed by a number of other options. No one has chosen to discard a spade, which is good. But let's go back and have a think about this. Well, yes, you're definitely right to keep your spade because your partner has a sequence in that suit. So if you do gain the lead, you need to keep your 3 of spades. So you need to hang on to that. You have to find 3 cards to discard in the red suits then. And although you have a good heart suit, it's very unlikely that declarer has any interest in the heart suit. Declarer is almost certainly going to try to make tricks in diamonds rather than hearts. And you can tell that declarer is weak in hearts because you're so strong. So the right thing to do here is to discard 3 hearts. Most of you are right here. And what you need to do instead is to keep your 4 diamonds. Because there are 4 diamonds in dummy, and because you have the jack, you should try to keep length with dummy and keep your 4 diamonds. So what you should do on this hand, when the clubs are played, is discard 3 hearts. You might give an encouraging signal. If your partner gains the lead, you want to indicate you'd like a heart lead. But declarer is going to cash these, and you should throw away your hearts. And now declarer might try the diamonds. They might take the king, the queen. But if they play a 3rd round of diamonds, they can only make 3 tricks there because you've got the jack of diamonds. And at this point, let's bring up the 4 hands. Declarer's made 8 tricks now and needs to make a trick from somewhere, but you should be able to prevent that. So if, for example, he leads a diamond, you can win that one with your jack. And if you've kept the right card, you can now cash your ace of hearts and lead a spade over to your partner and defeat the contract. As I said, when this hand was played, no one managed to defeat 3 no trump, but it should be defeated as long as you remember to keep length with dummy. It's very easy to see that lovely heart suit as something you want to keep, but in this situation, it really isn't much point keeping the hearts because declarer has obviously got weak hearts and is not going to play that suit. Even if I change the hand slightly to make South's hearts a little bit stronger, I hope you can see in this situation, South again is very unlikely to lead hearts for themselves. And so the fact that you're strong in that suit actually means that it's unlikely declarer is going to have interest in that, and it's much more likely that you need to keep length with dummy and diamonds to prevent declarer making 4 diamond tricks. Do interrupt me if you're having any questions about that. Let's try another one. This time it's gone 1 spade, 2 diamonds. You're east here, you overcall 2 hearts, but South bid 3 spades and they ended up in 4 spades. And I'm expecting my partner here to lead my suit. So they lead the 6 of hearts. Down comes dummy, and I can see, looks like we're going to take 2 heart tricks here. If a low card is played here, you can play the ace and the king if you like, although strictly speaking, you could just play the 10 to win the trick. Then you play the ace, your partner plays the 9. And my next question for you is, what are you going to play now? What you've just won 2 tricks with the with 2 hearts. And which suit do you think you should play now? Spade, heart, diamond, or a club? Look at the results. So the most popular choice is clubs, followed by hearts, spades, and 1 person voted for a diamond. And let's, sorry, this one here. Let's have a little think about this. Well, the first thing you need to think about on this hand is what's the heart situation. Your partner, if you were paying attention, led the 6 of hearts and followed up with a 9. So that to me indicates that they did not start with a doubleton. 6 and 9 probably means they started with 3 cards in the suit. If they had 2, they would have led the 9. But if they play the 6 and the 9, that probably means they had 3. And if you count the hearts, that will tell you that now, as well as North being out of hearts, South is also out of hearts. In other words, we started with 6 hearts. There were 2 in dummy, and then the remaining 5 hearts are divided between West and South, with South having 2 and your partner having 3. So I would not play back another heart here because your partner probably has another heart, and another heart gives declarer a chance to rough in one hand while they discard from the other. What are my thoughts on this hand? Well, I'm going to make a trick with my king of diamonds. And apart from that, unless my partner happens to have a high trump, the only other place we're going to make tricks is in clubs. So in other words, I'm reckoning that we can only make 2 hearts here. I'm going to make the king of diamonds. And so after winning the ace of hearts, I need to switch to a club. And I do that now because later on, declarer may set up the diamonds and you may not have a chance to take your club trick. So I'm going to lead a club here. I'm leading the 4 middle up down to indicate I have no strength in that suit. Declarer unfortunately has the ace here and they play it, but your partner plays the 8. And if you're playing standard signals, that should be an encouraging signal to indicate that they like that suit. So if declarer now starts by drawing trumps and then maybe tries the diamond finesse, you can get in and you, of course, will switch back to a club. And here your partner's got the king and they will be able to make the 4th trick there. After that, if I bring up the 4 hands, whatever happens, declarer can make the rest here. He's just down to trumps, but you will defeat this contract by making 4 tricks there. And when this hand was played, very few people managed to defeat four spades there. But it does require you to, after taking your hearts, I hope you can see, to switch to a club there as the best chance of setting up a trick for your partner. If you have any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, let's try this one. And here your South opened one heart. Your partner overcalled two diamonds and North jumped to four hearts. You pass that, and your partner here leads the King of Diamonds. Down comes dummy, and I've got the next pole for you. Declarer plays the 10 from dummy, and I'd like you to answer the poll question, which is which diamond should East play? The ace, the 6, the 5, or the 4? Let's have a look at the results. And for once, we have a unanimous response. Everyone has played the ace. Although when this hand was played, I don't think people did that. If you have a look at the dummy and your hand here, I hope you can see that you're only ever going to make one diamond here because of that singleton. So you're going to make one diamond. You're going to make the ace of spades. But the only other tricks that you and your partner can make are going to be in clubs. So it's much better here for you to overtake with your ace so that you can lead into dummy's weakness. Well done to everyone who gave the right answer there, which was all of you. Yes, you play the ace here so that you can lead into dummy's weakness. And if I bring up the four hands, you'll see that it's much, much better for you to lead a club than to leave your partner on lead with the King of Diamonds, because if they lead a club, they're just helping Declarer make the Queen of Clubs here. But you lead the Jack of Clubs here. Declarer here can play the ace here, but your partner gives an encouraging signal. Obviously, if they played the Queen, your partner would have won the King there. Now Declarer draws trumps. Okay. And he may decide to ruff diamonds. But at some point, he's going to play spades. And when he does, because of that encouraging signal from your partner, you should probably hop up with your ace straight away so that you can continue with clubs. And played that way, you can make two club tricks to go with your other two tricks and defeat the contract. After this, whatever happens, Declarer can ruff, but will be held to 9 tricks there. So that was relatively straightforward. But, think about this kind of situation because of that singleton. You're only going to make one diamond. You want your partner to retain the lead, or here you should overtake so that you can switch to dummy's weakness. And finally, let's have a look at this one. And this is probably the hardest one of the lesson today. So it's gone 2 no trump, 3 no trump, and you're on lead. And I hope you agree you have an easy lead of the King of Diamonds. So you play the King of Diamonds, your partner plays the 7, you play the Queen, and Declarer wins the second trick with the Ace of Diamonds. So what do we know about the diamonds? Well, the King, Queen, Ace have gone, so your diamonds are good now. If you're ever able to get in, you or your partner, and play diamonds, you'll be able to run that suit. But Declarer starts by playing clubs and plays 2 rounds of clubs. And now he plays a 3rd round of clubs on which your partner plays the 4 of hearts. Declarer follows with a 5. And this is the final poll of the evening. What are you going to discard on the Queen of Clubs? Are there any clues as to what to discard? Okay, let's have a look at your responses. And we have almost exactly a tie between all the responses. Spades, hearts, and diamonds. You've all pretty much voted for those equally. Well, whatever you discard here, Declare is actually going to carry on with more clubs. You can tell he's going to play 2 more rounds of clubs here. And you'd like to keep your diamonds because they are established now, but you have to think about how you might be able to gain the lead. And you've got 2 queens here, which both could provide an entry for you to then get in and cash the diamonds, but you cannot protect them both. So you like to keep the diamonds, and then you'd like to keep the queen in the more important suit. And you actually only have one clue here, which was that on this trick, East discarded the 4 of hearts. East discarded a low heart. You can tell the 4 is their lowest heart because you can see the 2 and 3 in dummy. So that should indicate that they have no interest in that suit. And that probably indicates that they don't have the ace of hearts and they don't have the king of hearts. If they have an honor, it's probably in spades. So you should be thinking about discarding your spades and keeping your hearts. The other way of thinking about it is if your partner doesn't have the ace or king of hearts, Declare has both of those cards. And in that case, your queen of hearts may eventually make a trick, but only if you keep it guarded. So you've actually got 3 discards to make here, this trick and then 2 more. And if you trust your partner's signal, when they discarded the 4 of hearts, if they're playing standard signals, that means they have no interest in hearts. So if they have an honor, it's the ace or king of spades. And in that case, you should discard your spades and keep your hearts. So if they keep playing clubs, you've got to discard another spade. And on the last club, yes, you should discard your last spade. And if we bring up the 4 hands at this point, let's have a look at the situation. Well, you can see that Declare's made 6 tricks now. And if you had discarded a heart, then Declare would have made the remaining 4 heart tricks. As it is, if they play a spade here, your partner should be alert to what's going on and hop up with the ace here. And now they still have a diamond, so they can switch to a diamond and allow you to run your good diamonds. So after that, whatever you play, Declare is going to make the last 2 tricks, but that way you can make 5 tricks and hold Declare to down 1. So it's not guaranteed to. This is a difficult one because you want to keep your queens protected, and you can't protect them both. But it's probably based on the play, based on your partner discarding a low heart, it's probably better for you to keep a heart. So otherwise, Declare will be able to take all 4 hearts if you've discarded 1 heart. And of course, if you've discarded a diamond at any point, then you probably won't have enough tricks to defeat the contract. So that's a tough one, and it only works if you and your partner are giving some kind of signals. So the other signal that your partner could have given on the first discard to indicate they had some strength in spades would be to discard a high spade, although the 10 might be a bit high, it might be a useful card. So they discarded a 4 hearts, and if you take that as meaning they don't have the ace or the king, then hopefully you'll keep your hearts guarded, which means discarding your spades. Very tough to know what to do on that one, but that's what you should probably do. Anyone have any questions on that one or any of the others? I'll stop sharing my screen here. and we've got the game starting in 15 minutes. If anyone needs a partner, you can speak up now if you see someone you want to play with. Otherwise, just join the game